"There's no place for a high school grad," she said. We were kicked out of the restaurant. The new girl, who had been standing in front of the restaurant, smiled through her tears at that moment. My anger reached its peak. It was a social gathering organized by elite employees who usually look down on us for our educational backgrounds. However, it was a trap she had set, to belittle us, to make us the laughingstock. "Samantha, you stay here." "What?" Still angry, I stormed into the social gathering. Soon, someone who arrived later revealed my identity. The elite employees were shocked, instantly sobering them up. "My name is Alex, 32 years old. I work in sales at a thriving IT startup. The company I work for is relatively new, having been established only 7 years ago. Initially, there was hardly any business. Everyone, from the CEO to the programmers, had to go out and make sales. It was a challenging management situation. However, this situation changed 4 years ago, when we happened to get an interview on a TV station. Actually, I was raised in a poor family. I developed this budget support app with the hope that it could provide assistance, ensuring they have a full stomach at least once a week. I wanted to do something for the kids whose families are facing financial challenges, much like what I experienced during my childhood. The image of our CEO telling this story resonated greatly with the viewers at home. What captured people's attention was not just the story itself, but also the fact that our CEO was young and good-looking. It quickly spread on social media, and we were inundated with interview requests from other TV stations and magazines. Consequently, our company's recognition skyrocketed. Now we are considered a rapidly growing company and are sure to be recognized as a major player in the industry. "Wow, you graduated from Ivy League. That's prestigious. I heard that many of my seniors work here, so I wanted to test my abilities." I nodded with a smile at the promising new employee's words, saying, "Definitely give it your best. Despite our rapid growth, we're still smaller and offer lower salaries and bonuses compared to major companies. However, there are many new graduates who are eager to work for us. Especially in the last couple of years, many highly educated individuals like him, sought after even by major companies, have joined us. It's something to be grateful for. Having more talented employees is beneficial for the company, right?" Saying this with pride is a female employee, also a graduate of a prestigious state university. Jennifer, as she's known, has been working here since the company's inception and is, of course, my junior. She's been speaking informally to me from quite early on. The reason, apparently, is because my highest education is just high school. Indeed, as you mentioned, having many reliable and skilled junior staff recently has been a great help. You're right, aren't you? Even our CEO has graduated from a top university. It just goes to show that educational background equals job skills. I don't think that's accurate. Huh? Jennifer looked utterly baffled by my objection. It's not just because I only graduated from high school. I believe that job skills are not determined solely by one's educational background. Hidden abilities and aptitudes can blossom once someone starts working. I'm confident the CEO shares this belief, as he hires employees regardless of their educational background. So, I reiterated my often explained point to Jennifer that thinking only college graduates are competent should be reconsidered. However, she snorted at this as if to mock it. "Are you still saying that? You really should update your perspective." "What?" "Look." Smirking, Jennifer pointed to the monthly performance board. "The top performers aren't necessarily those with high levels of education. In contrast, individuals like you, Alex, and those with degrees in Mickey Mouse are not ranking as highly or securing as many contracts." Her mocking tone made me retort in irritation. It's only been 5 days since this month started, and last month's top performer was. Right. It was by chance someone not highly educated. Let's hope such luck happens again this month. The rapid growth of the company had started attracting graduates from prestigious universities. While this helped the company grow further, it also brought a disadvantage. The increase of employees like Jennifer, who differentiated colleagues based on their educational backgrounds. They believe that, just because they're highly educated, they are the driving force behind the company. Moreover, the employees with lower education are inherently less capable. If I were to marry, I'd want someone like the CEO, young, handsome, talented, and of course, a highly educated elite. In contrast, there's Alex. Not young, not handsome, and on top of that, with a low educational background. I couldn't stand that. I'm used to it. Thanks to you constantly comparing me to the CEO. Oh, Alex, you have to act tough because you're insecure about your education. Poor thing. Since I am the only high school graduate in the sales department, Jennifer and her highly educated group personally backbite me about my education. They will leave a comment whenever I don't produce results, attributing it to my low education. If I do succeed, it's despite my low education. I'm used to it, but it still stings. I'm determined to change their perception. With that resolve, I'm working more intensely than any of the junior employees, rushing from one sales visit to another. Then, it happened in the spring of the following year. Hello, nice to meet you. I'm assigned to work here. A woman glanced at everyone and smiled. The male employees whispered and glanced at her. Though I thought it rude to stare, I couldn't help but be captivated. She's beautiful. She was 22, as I had heard, still exuding a touch of innocence. Her well-proportioned features, slender limbs, and silky smooth skin embodied the word beautiful perfectly. Her neat and pristine aura resembled that of a heroine from a teen drama. Her name is Samantha. She's a new employee assigned to the sales department. Pleased to meet you, Samantha. My name is Alex. As the oldest member of the team, I took the initiative to greet her. I extended my right hand, and Samantha hesitantly responded with a handshake. Her hand was unusually trembling. Are you okay? Nervous, maybe. Yes, a bit. Despite her good looks, she hunched over and looked down, clearly uncomfortable. Soon, the reason became clear. Excuse me, Samantha. Which university did you graduate from? Jennifer, with a beaming smile, cut into our conversation. Samantha flinched and bowed her head even more, then muttered in a low voice, I'm a high school graduate. What? I didn't quite catch that. Don't be shy, say it again, please. I'm a high school graduate. Instantly, Jennifer's friendly expression changed. What? Who hired a high school graduate? Hey, cut it out. I shielded frightened Samantha from Jennifer's sudden change of demeanor. Well, I would have given you hands-on training if you were at least a college graduate. Too bad. I'm sorry. Samantha, you don't have to apologize. Jennifer, haven't I told you this is not okay? Judging people by their education is wrong. It's not just me, right? Who would want to teach her job? Right. Saying this, Jennifer looked around, and her Fab Four smirked in agreement. The others, who were normally being teased about their education levels, remained uncomfortably silent, clearly indicating that no one is willing to train Samantha. All right, I'll take on the role of her mentor. Oh, how perfect. You two are a match, Jennifer said, laughing with her entourage. I'm sorry. I know you feel bad. I'll speak to them later and try to address the situation. When I apologized, Samantha shook her head vigorously. No, it's my fault. What? I knew it. I was fully aware that this is a place for graduates from prestigious universities. And yet, a mere high school graduate dared to join. Trembling, she confided in me. She said she had to take a job at a local company immediately after high school graduation due to her family's financial status. Just as she was about to give up on life, thinking she would always be stuck in a job she didn't like, she saw a job hiring post at our company. Something about it was incredibly appealing, and she thought, I want to work here. So, she applied for the job, not really expecting anything. To her surprise, she successfully passed the hiring process, which was great. But then, I'm going to quit. What? Wait a minute. It's your first day yet, but it's clear I don't belong here. I can't see myself continuing to work in this place. Although her quick decision-making is something worth applauding. In a panic, I tried to convince Samantha, saying, despite having only a high school education, she successfully passed the recruitment exam. You're definitely qualified to work here. Is it because you lack confidence due to your high school background? Samantha silently nodded. This is not good, I thought. While she possesses good decision-making skills, her lack of confidence might pose a challenge for her to work in sales. Customers always look for products presented confidently by the seller. Samantha, I'm also a high school graduate. What? Yet, many clients prefer me over other salespeople. They say I am the most trustworthy, and they specifically want to discuss matters with me. That's the result of the dedication and commitment to work I've put in. There were clients who told me high school graduates are not reliable. However, I visited them repeatedly until I gained their trust. I studied our products more than anyone else, ensuring that I provide accurate information for every inquiry, even the most detailed questions. There's still a lot said about my education. I've had my share of struggles. It's undeniable. That's why I can empathize how it feels to lose confidence. I know about hardship and failure. That's why I can understand others' pain. It's my advantage for addressing problems and concerns of our clients. Advantage. Samantha repeated my words, and before I knew it, she had lifted her face. The gloom in her eyes had been replaced by a shining light, almost sparkling. She might turn out to be a wild card, I thought. Filled with hope, I encouraged her even more. How about it? Wouldn't it be fun to show those highly educated elites what we high school graduates can do? Show them, you mean? Let's do it together, you and me. Alex and me. Samantha seemed a bit confused, but her eyes began to sparkle even more. She must have given up on many things before due to her family circumstances and being a high school graduate. Perhaps she's even been told directly, "You're just a high school grad, just like me. If there's something you want to do, I'll support you. Don't give up from the start, let's try anything and everything. And if we fail, Samantha swallowed nervously, and I smiled brightly at her. Then I'll take responsibility and apologize to everyone like crazy. Samantha looked surprised, her eyes widening. So you think an apology will make it okay? I'll apologize until they forgive us. If they don't, we'll deal with that when it comes. Though, I'd rather avoid such a situation. I'll do my best. What was meant as a joke seemed to make Samantha tense up and stand straight. She's very earnest. Once she learns to relax a bit more, I'm sure her confidence will follow. So, once again, I'm looking forward to working with you, Samantha. Thank you. When I extended my hand again, she firmly grasped it without hesitation. Her hand was no longer trembling. I had a gut feeling that she would unquestionably alter the way others perceive her. My prediction soon began to materialize. Samantha, you really saved us with that client. We were one step away from losing a deal to another company. It was nothing really. You couldn't grasp the client's ultimate needs at the last moment unless you were adept with our business and had analyzed what had been discussed. I just noticed something off in the conversation and spoke up. Sorry for interrupting. Not at all. As Samantha began to face down again, I intentionally raised my voice to cheer her up. Ever since we started visiting clients together, she has been full of surprises. Despite being at the company for less than a month, Samantha's IT knowledge was already on par with mine. She had a keen eye for observation, never missing the slightest change in someone's speech or expression. Despite being usually timid, she demonstrated an unexpected knack for seizing opportunities when it mattered most. It was a mystery why she lacked confidence, considering she was brimming with talent. Especially impressive is your talent for effort. Samantha, you're a genius at working hard. A genius. No way, that's too much. The effort to study on your own and understand others isn't something everyone can do. That's why it's a remarkable talent. As I explained this to Samantha, I glanced at Jennifer, who was chatting with her group. When Jennifer joined the company, she was an enthusiastic and promising talent. But now, as other highly educated members excelled, she lagged behind, disinterested in steady effort and more focused on belittling others. It's a waste. If she had continued enhancing her job knowledge, she might have caught the CEO's eye. The CEO likes people like Samantha. I started to say but then coughed to cover it up. I didn't want to say anything that might lead Samantha to believe she joined a company for the wrong reasons and consider quitting once again. For the company and our department, we can afford to lose her. So, for now, let's keep up the good work, Samantha. Yes. From then on, I always took Samantha along on client visits and negotiations. I shared my knowledge and tips with her, and in turn, she inspired me and supported my work. Our partnership worked seamlessly, as if we had been working together for years. We complimented each other well and quickly started achieving great results. Well, Alex and Samantha, you two are amazing. You closed a deal with that major company. Jennifer approached us, unusually friendly, right after we had secured a significant deal. Usually, she would act as if we were invisible, saying, "High school graduates are not worth my attention." Her overly cheerful demeanor immediately set off alarm bells in my mind, given my years of experience. "Thanks. Let's go, Samantha." "Wait," Jennifer was praising us. "Nah, she's not. I know that's the face she makes when she's about to say something mean." I asked Samantha, "Do you remember from your first day?" I hesitated for a moment, wondering if it was okay to bring up past issues just when Samantha was moving past them. "You know, it must be nice being a high school graduate. With such low expectations, even a little bit of luck gets you praised. Unlike us, where things aren't that simple." Jennifer said this with a twisted face and a sneering laugh, dripping with sarcasm. "What?" Samantha stood there, stunned, as laughter spread around us. It came from Jennifer's entourage, who had surrounded us, smirking just like her. It wasn't luck. This success is the result of Samantha's dedicated work, her thorough research on the client requirements. Samantha had been studying to the point of sacrificing her sleep. Even during breaks, she would secretly practice her sales pitches alone. I knew all this because I was with her all along. I wouldn't let her efforts be dismissed as mere luck, not even by herself. It would be belittling her entire effort. As I forcefully countered Jennifer's statement, he didn't seem to care at all and mocked me with a nose laugh. "Oh, is that so? Now I understand." "Understand what? Why have you been dragging around a high school graduate newbie? She's pretty, isn't she, Samantha? It's because you look good beside her, getting a better reception from the older male employees at client sites, right?" What? That was a gross insult to both Samantha and me. Blood rushed to my head in an instant, and I confronted Jennifer without thinking. "Take that back. Forget about me," apologized to Samantha, getting all worked up. Did I hit a nerve? No, don't belittle her. The louder I raised my voice, the more Jennifer enjoyed it, and the laughter around us grew. Samantha began to tremble slightly and shrunk into herself again, just like before. I was upset because she recently started gaining confidence and looking forward. I couldn't forgive this, glaring intensely at Jennifer. "Well, scary. That's all people with nothing can do, just bluff," Jennifer taunted. Samantha already gained extensive job knowledge and skills. There's no reason for anyone to belittle her. Defending low education with low education. "You two are really a match," Jennifer retorted and walked away with her entourage. Even after we were left alone, Samantha continued to remain face down and trembling. "I'm sorry, Alex." "What?" "It's because of me." With a quivering voice, Samantha apologized repeatedly. She said she felt guilty, frustrated because, due to her, I was being ridiculed too. "I have to apologize to you. As a senior member of this department, I am obliged to create a positive workplace environment, but I failed and made you embarrassed. I'm very sorry. So, don't perceive it as criticism. There's no need to feel ashamed or intimidated by what others say. Be proud. Your abilities are real." Even as I said this, I wondered if my words carried any weight. Adding that, Samantha shook her head vigorously. "That's not it. I think of you, Alex, as. You think of me as. And nothing." Suddenly lifting her face, Samantha ran off, her cheeks tinged faintly red. After that incident, things became a bit awkward between Samantha and me. We still went on sales calls together, but back at the office, she'd quickly excuse herself saying, "I have unfinished work." I knew she didn't have any urgent tasks that needed immediate attention. "Is someone's dumping extra work on you, Samantha? If that's the case, I can talk to them." "No, it's nothing like that. I'm just a bit busy these days." "Really? Okay then. But if it gets too much, let me know. I have a meeting now, excuse me." She hurried off, almost as if running away. Samantha had indeed become more familiar with her work recently. I even let her handle some clients on her own. So her being busy was true. I thought her desire to keep a distance might be a sign of becoming more independent, and I felt a bit melancholic, like a parent watching their child grow up. Due to my confidence in her, I left Samantha to fend for herself, and this wrong move led to her being hurt again. On that particular day, we had a company-wide social gathering. Each department booked a different venue for a get-together. The sales department chose a dining bar near the office, and Jennifer was the one who made the choice. I let you handle it because you insisted. I hope it's all right. The food and drinks are great there, and my choices are always spot on. That's not what I meant. I was indirectly asking if she was up to something, but she seemed unfazed. She said appalled this without giving any hint of her hidden agenda. Sorry, I got a call from my client, and it will take an hour, I guess. Can you go ahead to the gathering? Just before the scheduled time, my client called me regarding an urgent matter. When I gestured an apology to Samantha, she looked slightly anxious. Okay, you sure you'll join later, right? Of course. I'll definitely join you there, so just wait for me at the venue. All right. Looking back, this was a mistake. After finishing my work, I arrived at the dining bar, the venue for the social gathering. Samantha was standing alone in front of the place. Samantha. When I called out to her, she quickly lifted her head. The very moment I saw her face, I was rendered breathless. Her eyes were brimming with tears, as if they might spill over any moment. What happened? Did something go wrong? I knew she mainly talked to me and didn't interact much with other colleagues. Lately, more colleagues have started interacting with her, moved by her efforts. Each of them expresses his or her apologies for overlooking her, influenced by Jennifer's attitude. I had hoped this social event would be an opportunity for her to deepen her interactions. Thinking it would be a good chance for her to mingle, I had sent Samantha to the gathering first. Was it too uncomfortable there? Is that why you left the room? To my question, Samantha shook her head without a word, then revealed something unbelievable. Everyone left, everyone except Jennifer and her Fab Four. They left. They tried to contact you too, she said. Checking my phone in a hurry, I realized I had left it at the office. Sorry for not being there. But why did everyone leave? That's the thing, she said, facing down with a dejected voice. Jennifer and Fab Four kicked everyone else out of the restaurant. They said that holders of Mickey Mouse degrees don't deserve to be in such a fancy place. Besides, she only reserved 5 seats. What? Jennifer had only reserved seats for herself and her Fab Four. The rest of us, including Samantha and me, 10 people in total, were not counted from the beginning. That's why she took on the role of organizer. My anger towards Jennifer rose sharply at that realization. Then, it happened. Samantha, with tears in her eyes, gave a weak smile. Of course, there's no place for a high school graduate like me. I just wanted to say goodbye to you, Alex, before I left. That's why I was waiting here. Samantha, stay here. What? I'll send you home later. With that, I stormed into the dining bar. I couldn't let those who made her feel this way continue their merry drinking. People say you become calm when your anger surpasses its limits. I was experiencing that now. I remembered I had promised to join later. Jennifer and her group were in for more than just a surprise. Imagining a certain person's face in my mind, I marched towards the far end of the bar. As I flung open the door to the private room, they were already quite drunk. They didn't notice me standing at the entrance for a while. Are you a waiter? It's me. This is the venue for the sales department's gathering, right? That's why I'm here. Hey, is that you, Alex? Why are you here? Even drunk. Jennifer was her usual self, smirking mockingly and waving her hand dismissively. Sorry, but there's no seat for high school graduates, you know. None were prepared from the start. I heard about that. But isn't it the sales department's gathering tonight? As the organizer, shouldn't you have arranged seats for everyone? Oh, sure. I'll arrange seats for those who actually contribute to the company. As Jennifer laughed through her nose and dismissed me, the room filled with laughter. The Fab Four were all smirking, their faces flushed red, looking at me. How audacious. Non-performing individuals want to join the party. I used my organizer's authority to kick such people out. Any problem? Non-performing individuals. There's no one in the sales department who doesn't work hard. Everyone's contributing significantly to the company. Who are you referring to? You. The low-educated, a burden who drags down the company's reputation. The one who's good at pretending to work, a salary thief. Jennifer pointed straight at me, hurling insults. The Fab Four egged her on, laughing loudly. And then, "Hey, kick him out. He's ruining the taste of this fine wine." Following Jennifer's command, one of the girls stood up. Just as she tried to lay a hand on my shoulder to send me outside the room, a young man's voice halted them in their tracks. "What's going on here?" At the sound of the voice, everyone but me stared at the entrance in disbelief. "Why on earth is the CEO here?" Jennifer muttered, her previously flushed face rapidly losing color. The Fab Four seemed to sober up quickly, too. They started fussing and hurriedly began tidying up the messy table. The young, good-looking man who had appeared was our company's CEO. He looked around with a puzzled expression, then fixed his gaze on Jennifer and asked her as if he didn't understand what was happening. "The sales department is supposed to be having a gathering here, that's why I dropped by. But how come there are only a few people here? Where is everyone else?" Well, everyone had other commitments. All 10 of them. "That's quite unfortunate. Did something happen at the office?" "No, nothing like that." Jennifer, who usually gushed about wanting to marry the CEO, was now being questioned by him. She couldn't respond properly and just hung her head in embarrassment. The CEO, sighing, informed Jennifer, "I know everything." "What?" "I talked to Samantha outside, who told me she was kicked out by you all. And I heard your conversation just now about how you used your organizer's authority to kick them out. What you did to my brother. Unbelievable." As he uttered these words and glared at them, Jennifer and the rest were frozen as if time had stopped. Brother. That's right. I'm Chris, the CEO, and this is my older brother, Alex." "Alex." Samantha appeared from behind Chris, the CEO, with a confused look on her face, apparently having already heard the story. "You shouldn't leave a lady standing out in the cold, big brother. I didn't want to bring her here. Whatever they were going to say, it wouldn't have been worth listening to." "Absolutely. I was so furious, it was hard to keep myself in check." "You're surprisingly hot-headed, Chris. You did well to restrain yourself." Excuse me." Jennifer hesitantly spoke up to us, her face ashen, drained of all color. Finally, she seemed to be able to comprehend the whole situation. "Really? But you two don't look alike at all. Are you really brothers?" Catching her mumbling, I explained, "I resemble our father, and Chris looks like our mother. We're spitting images of them. I must be troublesome for you, big brother." "Well, you were quite a handful. We both had our share of troubles, especially you, big brother." Chris and I reminisced about memories only we shared, his gaze distant. Although we can laugh about it now, back then, even smiles were rare. "My parents divorced when I was 7. My father took custody of me, while 2-year-old Chris stayed with his mother in a faraway town. Our father was quite irresponsible. He repeatedly missed work and didn't take care of me. Eventually, he found a new partner and hardly ever came home. 'I'm hungry' was a phrase I often repeated back then. I was always dressed untidily, and the neighbors viewed me as a neglected child. At school, I was ridiculed and always alone. I harbored resentment towards Chris. If only I had been taken by Mom. Chris received all the love and happiness while I suffered. Life is unfair, I thought. This perspective changed dramatically in the summer of my 8th grade. "Are you Chris?" I recognized him instantly, despite us being separated when he was just a toddler. He had the same refined features as our beautiful mother. However, he was in untidy clothes, just like I used to be. I came to ask Dad for help. Chris explained his reason why he suddenly came to visit our father. He shared that our mother had fallen ill and hadn't been able to work for years. They were struggling to make ends meet and even had trouble buying groceries. I had no idea. I always thought you were the lucky one, without any hardships. I thought the same about you, big brother. Mom always said, "I'm sorry, I made you suffer unlike your brother, who is surely being happy." Chris, only 10 years old at that time, spoke without a hint of a smile, in a detached tone. The moment I saw him like that, I was struck with an overwhelming urge to act. "I have to help him. Leave it to me, Chris. I'll find a way to help you," I declared. I abandoned our father and chose to live with Chris and our mom in the apartment. While studying for exams, I taught Chris the household skills I had picked up on my own. I was granted a full scholarship for high school and spent most of my free time working part-time jobs. After graduating, I started working in a nearby factory, touring Chris's university tuition. You're so smart, big brother. It seems like a waste. Every time I came home exhausted from night shifts, Chris would speak with a guilty demeanor. But in my eyes, Chris was the one who excelled in academic performance. That's why I wanted him to proceed to university, which would lead to a better future for him. I told you I'd take care of it. That meant making sure you could smile properly. Big brother, as long as you make that face, it means I haven't fulfilled my promise yet. Big brother, you saying it'd be lame for a big brother to fail was the coolest thing. You're still the coolest in my eyes. Stop it, Chris. Please, forget about it. Embarrassed, I covered my face, but Chris chuckled, his shoulders shaking with laughter. Despite the hardships, I was able to bring back my brother's smile. By the way, our mother also made a full recovery, and now the three of us live happily together. That's who I am today, all thanks to my brother. Without him, I wouldn't have gone to college, and without college education, I never would have thought about starting a business. I probably wouldn't have met you all either. Saying this, Chris directed his gaze at Jennifer and girls, who instinctively flinched. When I started a company, the first person I invited was my brother, right here, because he's the person I trust the most. Thanks to my brother, my company never screens applicants based on their educational background. I believe, and I'm sure, that there are many who weren't able to attain higher education due to various reasons. Furthermore, no one can judge you just based on the educational level. There are capable and deserving people out there regardless of their education. I learned the vice versa is true too, after becoming CEO. Jennifer turned pale, choking on her words, understanding the implications. Then why not make him a vice president or something? You're the CEO, you could. I refused those offers. I preferred being a rank-and-file employee. Really? Jennifer looked incredulous. Having worked amongst adults from an early age, I saw the darker sides of adulthood. As individuals climbed the corporate ladder and reached higher positions, they seemed to forget their humble beginnings, becoming arrogant towards those in lower positions. So I decided I wouldn't be the same. I will not accept any high-ranking positions until the time I am not swayed by the status. Besides, there's still so much I want to learn in the field, and I turned down that offer too. Sales department head. Come on, I thought it was about time for that. I'll do it. Jennifer interjected, eagerly raising her hand in our conversation. You, the sales department head. Yes, I am. Please let me share my view with you. Alex is just your brother. He hasn't produced significant results or contributed much to the company. I'm far more suitable for the position. I admit I've been a bit off lately, but my abilities are superior. Chris listened silently to Jennifer's self-promotion until the end. Then, with a long, deep sigh, he said, "You don't understand anything." What? Do you remember the TV interview that first brought our company into the spotlight? Of course, I do. After seeing that, I wanted to work under you. It was Alex here who suggested taking that interview. What? Chris addressed not only Jennifer, but also her favorite girls. Alex is indeed an asset. In every crucial aspect of the company, I seek his opinion, and he has never failed to provide me with a precise point of view, backed by a solid and detailed analysis stemming from on-site observations. Furthermore, he plays an indispensable role in assisting the company to overcome numerous challenges. Ultimately, I believe trust is the most essential component in any business. Chris continued, to tackle each task meticulously, work sincerely to earn clients' trust, and compile the trust you earn for future projects. In this regard, I don't think anyone surpasses my brother. That's because I know some might find him overly meticulous, or even criticize him for taking too long to process transactions. Indeed, he hasn't achieved top sales performance. If you look at the figures, he doesn't contribute as much to the company. I really respect Alex. Samantha suddenly spoke up from behind Chris. I understand exactly what you mean because I work with Alex. I've witnessed clients who initially seemed tough, but they softened up after talking with him. That's what it means to gain trust. He unquestionably contributes significantly to the company by securing clients' trust. Don't say he is not suitable for a managerial position. Despite trembling, Samantha passionately defended Alex. Chris patted her shoulder with a gentle smile, saying, "Thank you, Samantha. That's what I wanted to tell." Exactly as she said. I strongly disagree with judging someone's dedication solely by numbers. There are many other valuable perspectives. For instance, if someone helped cover up for a colleague's mistake and saved a crucial deal, I value such camaraderie and quick thinking too. Jennifer's face visibly changed at these words, as if struck by a realization. No way. Did you know that the client was upset with you and even refused to speak with us? Our business still continues because my brother personally visited them, explained the situation, and convinced them to continue doing business with us. Chris revealed. Surely it's not just her. Jobs that were stagnating suddenly started going smoothly. Problems being resolved seemingly out of nowhere. You all must have some memories of that. Chris spoke, looking at each of Jennifer's girls one by one. Their faces changed. Eventually, one of the girls apparently made a decision, muttered, "Yes, that's happened. I'm sorry. Even though Alex helped me, I never acknowledged it until now." "What? You too?" "Me as well, I apologize." Wait a minute. Despite Jennifer's growing panic, her favorite girls continued to apologize to Alex one after the other, each showing a remorseful expression in turn. It's not just me who should be apologizing. You know who else you need to apologize to, right? Yes. They then turned to Samantha, beginning to apologize to her as well. Watching this scene, Jennifer's face turned crimson with anger and trembling. She finally pushed past us and stormed out of the room. "I've had enough. Remember this at the office, you traitors." She left, her footsteps echoing her rage. And no one tried to stop her, only fueling her anger more. Right after she left, colleagues who were kicked out and went home returned to the bar. "We were worried about Samantha," they said. "Looks like we'll have a good team from now on." Chris commented and I nodded in agreement. "Listen, let's beast the company altogether. Right now, we need strong camaraderie." Considering the number of people, Chris suggested moving to a larger venue. Additionally, he offered to restart the gathering using his own money. "Aren't you coming, Chris? If the CEO is around, everyone might feel constrained. It's a sales department gathering, count me out." Watching him leave in confidence, I felt deeply moved. Chris has always been intelligent and responsible, but to me, he's still my little brother whom I need to protect. Now, he is the one looking out for me, mature enough to show such consideration. His growth made me happy, yet a bit melancholic. I should start letting go of my little brother. "Alex, everyone's headed to the new venue. Let's go too," Samantha called, waving. "Be right there," I replied, waving back. My only concern now is Chris's work-focused life. I hoped he'd soon think about his happiness and find someone supportive by his side. Someone kind-hearted and sincere like Samantha. For a moment, I felt a twinge in my heart. But I dismissed it as nothing and hurried over to where Samantha was waiting. The gathering moved to a new venue, and soon after, it restarted in a much more relaxed and joyful atmosphere. Everyone was smiling, and the ambience was warm and friendly throughout. The next day, Jennifer approached me, but her attitude was completely different from before. "Alex, I've been reflecting on my behavior since yesterday. From now on, I'll work seriously and change my attitude." I was taken aback by her drastic change. Perhaps the Fab Four had left her, and she was in a desperate demeanor. Then she said something I couldn't believe. "I need to respect you more, Alex. After all, you might be my future brother-in-law." I've realized I still love the CEO. After talking to him so closely yesterday, I reaffirmed my feelings. I'm going to show him how capable I am and actively pursue him. So, I'd appreciate it if you could report my progress to him. Oh, and recommending me for a managerial position would look good, right? For the future CEO's wife. While her motives were questionable, it's truly commendable that she resolved to work hard and change her attitude. As a senior to her, it's my duty to support a junior's efforts. However, I wished she had come to this realization sooner. Unfortunately, Jennifer, it's too late. What? She looked puzzled, and I reluctantly shared an uncomfortable truth with her. Everything you've said and done has already been reported to the CEO. Everything. Yes, everything. The CEO has decided he will never date you, regardless of how much you change. In short, There's no chance of you becoming my sister-in-law, nor you becoming the CEO's wife. No way. Also, the CEO mentioned he's not interested in any bombshell girls, especially those who only care about appearances without inner beauty, even if they have impressive educational backgrounds. The last part came out a bit spitefully, but considering everything she had done, a bit of payback seemed fair. There will likely be an official appointment notice soon. Notice. Remember the company we recently acquired? They're short-staffed. The CEO was concerned about who to send there, but it's great that someone eager has been found. That's a demotion. I'll make sure to recommend you strongly to the CEO. As I left Jennifer, who had collapsed to her knees, I headed to the CEO's office where Chris was waiting. Chris preferred modest, demure women. Like Samantha, for example. There it is again. I felt a brief pain in my chest, similar to yesterday. Should I see a doctor? As I walked down the hallway while contemplating this peculiar pain, a sharp sensation struck my chest. A perfect match, indeed. I thawed as I observed Samantha and Chris chatting. Now I know. Every time I think of Samantha with Chris, my heart aches. Hey, big brother. Alex. As they spotted me, both of them smiled. Indeed, Samantha seemed best suited next to Chris, a beautiful couple close in age. I forced a smile, suppressing the pain in my chest. You two seem to have become quite close. It's a nice vibe, really. I just happened to meet the CEO and wanted to thank him for yesterday. Oh, I see. I intended to show support, but Samantha's smile faded. I was clueless why she looked down. Alex. Even Chris seemed to express disappointment in me. Then, in the next moment, Chris unexpectedly put his hand on Samantha's shoulder. CEO. Samantha, I think I've fallen for you. How about dinner tonight? He whispered in her ear, leaning close. In that instant, despite my resolve to support them, I found myself rushing toward them. I was determined to support them, but the thought I don't like this crossed my mind. But before I could reach them, Samantha acted. She pushed Chris away forcefully. Stop it, please. I love Alex. Me. My stunned murmur was met with Samantha's sudden realization. Her face turned beet red in an instant. Autumn, what I just said. That's what's going on, Alex. While Samantha was flustered and I was frozen, Chris remained composed, as if he already knew about Samantha's feelings. I'll leave you two alone then. Time for the third wheel to disappear, Chris said with a smirk and left. What did he mean by that? When I looked back at Samantha, she appeared on the verge of tears. Are you okay? I like you, Alex. Not CEO Chris, but you, Alex. I've felt this way for a long time. Really. That explained her recent distant behavior. Even I, usually oblivious to such things, had to accept the truth when faced with a direct confession. But I'm 10 years older than you. That doesn't matter. And I'm not exactly handsome. You're the most handsome to me. Way more than Chris, even. Now, that's an exaggeration. No, you're the most handsome in the world to me, Alex. How could any man not be moved when the woman he cares for praises him as the best in the world? Would you go on a date with me, Alex? Without any hesitation, I nodded in agreement. Then, Samantha, with the happiest smile I had ever seen, was undoubtedly the most beautiful she had ever been. Later, the sales department has made significant changes, diminishing bias or conflict due to education levels. The new mantra became compete based on results and output over educational background, fostering a healthy competitive spirit among us. Gradually, a supportive environment developed where everyone began to cover each other's weaknesses. The once dense sales department was transforming into a remarkable team, rivaling any other department. Jennifer was transferred to a faraway subsidiary and allegedly struggled with the unfamiliar environment and tasks. Despite her prestigious education, it didn't impress her new colleagues, who responded with a mere so what. Gradually, she began to show signs of working diligently. Building trust step by step and tackling your tasks diligently every day is the best and fastest path toward trust. These are beliefs I hope she will learn. As for Samantha and me, our relationship has been going well. Let's do our best today too, energetically, but with careful attention to each task. Samantha, who has gained confidence and steadily achieved results, now works with a vibrant, almost radiant energy. She has become an essential part of my life, both professionally and personally. And she often expresses that she feels the same way, which fills me with immense happiness each time. In today's society, where educational background is often emphasized, there are still those who feel it's acceptable to look down on others with lower education. But I believe that if you judge someone solely by their educational background, you will surely overlook some valuable qualities. Everyone possesses unique strengths and hidden talents that aren't determined by their degrees. In our transformed workplace, I plan to keep sharing this important message with those around me.